We heard a lot about wanting those quicker starts in that game against Winnipeg. It was a really connected group. What was working so well with you all in that first period?
Yeah, it's when we have, whoever's out there, it's a 5-man unit, and we always talk about, connectedness and stuff like that. So that's really important in our game, and just finding that consistency in that, and just we still need to get better.
What are some of those areas you want to see improved tonight against Pittsburgh?
Yeah, after watching the video, there's a lot of good things we do, but then there's hiccups that happen, and right now is a time where they end up in the back of our net, and 3-game skid, and we're going to do everything we can to get out of it tonight.
I know it was last season, but this was a group that played so well against Pittsburgh last year. What can you take away from that experience, knowing that you beat them in all 4 matchups going into tonight, or is that something you just don't even care about?
Yeah, I don't think it really matters. It's a new season. They have a new team. We have a new team, and it's the first matchup this year. So they're rolling good. They won 5 in a row, and their best players are hot. So it's a great test for us, especially where we're at. So looking for a good game.
And just how do you neutralize some of their offensive threats, and how do you optimize yourselves against some of their really strong defensemen?
Yeah, I think we need to be quick to strike. I think we need to be above them. Get through the neutral zone, manage the puck, and we just need to be hard. When there's a chance to go in the puck battle, we need to come out with those pucks more often than not.
I know you said it is a different team, different groups, but to Catherine's point, this building too has been for years strong for the Devils. So is that something you can grasp onto any bit of positivity right now as you're just looking for something to give you some momentum?
Yeah, it can help us. Obviously, it's just mentality-wise. It's always players, individuals have comfort in certain buildings going into it. But honestly, I haven't thought of it. Obviously, I haven't been with the Devils so long yet, but we had a lot of success with them last year. So take away some of those things, what made us successful, doing a good job special team-wise, not giving them odd-man rushes because they have a lot of weapons. And so I feel like managing puck is going to be key for us and staying above them.
Okay, Max, I know that Timo did join morning skate after, but you were taking some line rushes in his place. How flexible is this forward group being able to fill in for each other, and even with different assignments throughout the game?
Yeah, definitely. I think personally for me, I'm just trying to stay ready just in case he can't go tonight. So, I feel like amongst our group, pretty much everyone can play up and down the lineup. So, like you said, a lot of flexibility. So, just for me, just stay ready, and wherever they put me, I'll be ready to go.
I know last game you didn't play, but you were able to see the angle of how that first period was really strong against Winnipeg. What were you seeing that allowed the Devils to be so connected out there?
Yeah, I think just our compete level was a little bit higher than it's been. I think we just got to keep that going into tonight. I know Lindy's been stressing the 50-50 battles and kind of each shift winning your own 50-50 battles, and I think if we can kind of win more than they do, we'll like our effort and hopefully like the result.
You've seen the Penguins a bunch when your other team, the Flyers, when you played for them. What makes them so dangerous of a team?
Yeah, they got a couple big names over there that are pretty good. So when they're going, their whole team's going, and right now they're on a little bit of a good run here. So hopefully we can put a halt to that.
I know that the team has lost a couple and they're really trying to fight back, but what's the mood in this locker room as you guys approach a game against a hot team like you mentioned?
Yeah, I think it's a good challenge for us. I think we're excited. We're ready to kind of take that on. We're missing some guys, but that's just another reason to kind of level up everyone's game, and hopefully we can do that tonight. Yeah.
We played with Kevin Stevens' kid, who played for Kevin Stevens, and is good buddies with, all that crew, good buddies with you. It's just really weird. We had no idea that Ryan Shea was, kind of connected to you.
Yeah. So, grew up on the same team as him. Kevin Stevens' son, Luke Stevens, played together with him for a while. Just kind of a small world. And, now he's here, and, I was there before. So it's cool. We get to, share similar stories about the room and, different experiences.
It's like for you to see Ryan Shea sort of come from being in the AHL for a few years to getting his chance here and really making the most of it.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. Especially knowing him growing up too, and seeing how hard he's worked for it and everything. And he played a couple years in the AHL, and he's took a different path than maybe most guys. But to see him get that NHL experience right now and doing well with it, it's awesome to see.
You said you had a hamburger last night.
Yeah.
You don't go for the big steaks, do you?
No. Nice and simple, yeah. I won't tell you what he got. Yeah.
You said to make sure you didn't say anything bad about him.
Yeah, exactly.
So what was it like living with him this summer? You said you guys were roommates for like a month or so?
Yeah, that's how we put it, yeah. For a little bit, yeah. It's good. We're close. We skate together in the summers, compete, do all those little things. I don't know. It's awesome.
You said you got the big room because you were like,
Yeah.
You've been in the league.
He was a little cheap this summer. Put that on record, too, yeah. Ask him about it.
And just with Gravy too, he said you guys are pretty close friends. Just what has it been like? What is he like as a teammate and as a friend? How would you sort of describe?
Yeah, he was awesome in the room. When I first came in, made me feel at home, comfortable with him. We were D partners from the start too, so obviously that helps. But we had great chemistry, and I'm sure it's the same way over there in the other room too. Easy to get along with, and great teammate overall.
We keep hearing about we need to win these battles. We need to win these battles. What's your opinion on the game plan tonight against Pittsburgh?
Yeah, for sure. Pittsburgh's been playing well too. They've won a couple games here in a row. It's going to take a group effort too. Obviously we're missing a couple guys, but we expect to play the same way and expect the same results too. So yeah.
That first period against Winnipeg really connected. It felt like everyone was playing the Devils hockey that you all have said you wanted to play. What was working so well in that first 20?
Yeah, that's the way we want to play for full 60 minutes. We just, we haven't done that yet, and, that's a hockey that we need to start playing. Everyone connected, fast-paced, transition-wise, and, pucks to the front of the net, so yeah.
You've played with some of these players before. How do you neutralize a threat like Malkin or Crosby, or is that not even possible?
Yeah. Well, obviously, they're great players, but you can, limit them in a little way, stay out of the box, don't give them too many power plays. Obviously they have a lot of dangerous guys up there and, a lot of skilled players. So, I'd say discipline's going to be a huge factor.
John, how do you approach this and the fact that you're not the only one who said we still haven't played a full 60-minute effort? So how do we kind of get that to translate finally?
Yeah, take a little bit from each game. It's a learning process. And like you said, the first period, it was a great period for us. And we haven't had too many great first periods before that. So, it's all about putting the pieces together and, just having it all aligned in a row.
We saw Timo join morning skate at the end of it. Is there a situation or an update on him?
It'd just be a game-time decision. We got a little banged up last game.
That first period in the last game, we've talked about how connected we are. Something that players keep bringing up, we want to win these battles. What do they need to do to win more of these battles?
Well, I think, you look at the first period was a pretty tight period in Winnipeg. Didn't give up a lot, didn't create a lot. I think the creating is winning the battles. When it's your turn to get to the net front or backside to help create an opportunity, you got to be there.
What about bringing physicality against a team like Pittsburgh? Eric Haula was talking to us about it's not even just knocking down players; it's being physical in your own right, no matter who you are in the lineup.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. When it's your turn to get into the body, you get into the body. That might be a battle in an O-zone puck. It might be a defensive zone situation where you got to get into the body and separate the man from the puck. There's lots of different kinds of physicality.
Lindy, with guys like Crosby and Malkin going as well as they are, is there any surprise there that they're continuing to produce at that level at this stage of their respective career? No,
they're both great players. They have been. And when things start going well, I think they use that as fuel. It pushes them even harder. So you got to be aware of them. You got to try to take their speed away. We know what they can bring, and you take a Carlson on the back end who can help join and create. It makes them a dangerous crew.
Is there any update on Jack? Is there any update on Jack? There's a possibility.
Jack is still kind of progressing, but just not quite ready.
Ryan Graves said something the other day. He said the way that you guys play in your defensive zone is the polar opposite of how the Penguins play, which I thought was really – I didn't think there was anything like that in the hockey anymore. But not so much about the Penguins system, but what is it that you guys do that he might see as being unique or different from
we're probably a lot quicker to pressure the puck than all the other teams. We don't want to allow time. We don't want to just stay inside. We put the onus to pressure the puck on that man that is near it right away. So it's a little bit of adjustment to anybody that's come in and played.
Is that something that you brought or have done historically, or is it more based on your personnel?
It was based on personnel originally, so it is different. It's something that is taken a little bit to get used to for some players, but I think when they've got into it, they've realized that it can be both good defensively and offensively.
Sounds like a PK kind of derivative, almost.
It is. It has really been tweaked a lot since we first started it. There's always been adjustments. I think when a team plays against you and sees outs, then you have to make subtle adjustments. Along the way, we've made subtle adjustments to the system.
Last thing is you
it makes gravy a lot of money.
You had an expression in Buffalo, you used 5 on a dice, used to call it. We were talking about in your own end, but how you position guys. Remember that? Remember when you said that?
Yeah, and I think almost every team has that. Box plus 1, 5 on a dice, which is exactly what a box plus 1 looks like. You've got box plus 1 second quick. I've been with 2 Olympic teams that played box plus 1 second quick to a T with all the best players in the world. So you play your system. You want to get really good at what you do. There's times we're in box plus 1. There's times when you have to wait for your pressure point. You can't run around. But I would say 100% of the teams, including us, get in that during games because you protect the inside, and always on the inside is your guy in the middle of the box.
Coach,
you're welcome.
What kind of urgency do you need to see from your team tonight?
Well, you need to bring your A game. You got to be urgent. I think that you look at the start of last game, which was, we were playing in a building with a team that was going pretty good. We knew without key players, you have to kind of play a grind game. You got to protect the puck. You got to make sure the puck gets deep. So it's the urgency to get pucks, and it's the urgency to get them back, really, that, you kind of weigh when you're looking at how the first 10 minutes of a hockey game go. Did we get to it first? And what did we do with it? Or did they get to it first?
And that's a mindset. Is that a mindset that has been missing a little bit on this club through the first 15 games or so?
I think the early going in games, I may throw this out, sometimes you get, because your power play is going well, you might be just kind of waiting for a power play to come along. I think the 5-on-5 mindset of winning a lot more battles to help create that extra zone time or that extra chance. We discussed that yesterday as a team. I think there's another level to it.